Okay, so if you are a person who has felt like you relentlessly overthink, if you are a person that wonders, is my overthinking bad? Am I just setting myself up for failure? Am I just like digging myself in a deep hole by continuing to think about this thing? Then this video is for you. So here's my thought. I think that you might actually be able to use overthinking to your benefit. I want you to take a step back from that and I want you to ask yourself, am I giving this the right perspective? Am I actually thinking about how this can help me? Because I have come to find that when there is something that I continue thinking about over and over again, it's not just that I'm thinking about it. A good part of it is that my intuition is saying to me, hey, there's something that I want you to pay attention to. There's something that I am trying to bring out the depths of your of your subconscious and talk to you about, and you're so busy second guessing yourself. You're so busy beating yourself up. You're so busy bogging yourself down by not having the answer that you're not giving me a chance to share with you what I'm actually trying to share with you. That's what your intuition is saying to you, or that's what I found my intuition to be saying to me. So everyone says stop overthinking, but what if you could actually use overthinking to your benefit? Can overthinking actually be a good thing? That's what I want to talk about today. So I want to do a shout out to Mel Robbins because she did an amazing video about uh, really getting into overthinking. And the video is called How to Stop Overthinking Everything. And her main point is that you cannot think yourself out of something going wrong. You can't think yourself into the perfect path. You can't think yourself into a way of avoiding the fact that things might not go as planned. It's thinking over and over and over again. It's not going to fix any of that. So instead, I am asking you, what is your intuition trying to tell you? What is the depth of your heart saying, maybe this doesn't connect back to my values. Or maybe this is a distraction. Maybe my body is trying to help me recognize something about this decision that I haven't been able to process so far. And so, okay, you're like, okay, I might be able to get with that. I might be able to agree that my overthinking is my intuition trying to tell me something, but you're like, well, how the heck am I supposed to listen to it if I've had no idea how to listen to my intuition in this way before? If you're asking yourself that, you're probably like, here are the two ways that you usually react when you're in this cycle of overthinking and you're trying to figure out what to do next. Number one, either you do nothing and you keep trying to think your way out of it, and you end up actually just not making any decision and you get stuck in analysis paralysis. You get stuck in whatever stuckness you can be in. Or number two, you jump the gun and you just do anything to try and get it over with even if we don't feel comfortable, even if you're like, I don't think this is going to work out, right? But I also don't know what to do, so I'm just going to do something. And either one of those ways of reacting to not feeling like you know what to do tends to end up in a self-fulfilling prophecy where you're like, yeah, that didn't actually work out the way that I thought. Or not the way that I hoped. I get it. I laugh because I've literally done both of those things. And when you do those things, it ends up causing us to beat ourselves up more. It puts us deeper into this cycle of, man, I should have thought through it more. It makes us go back to this cycle of overthinking rather than uh, actually helping us move forward. We end up spiraling more into shame and guilt. And even more so than that, we start catastrophizing. We start thinking about, well, if I can't figure this out, everything is going to go to hell in a handbasket. And it's quite dramatic, but it's real. Like we sometimes allow our mind to trick us into this guilt and the shame that the answer is not within us, but the answer is within us. And this is where I feel like, or where I found my intuition to come. So Here is how you make space to listen to your intuition. Here is how you quiet your mind and allow your mind to tell you the things that uh, it's been trying to tell you through your body, but you haven't been able to figure out what the heck it's saying. Okay, so first, number one, I want you to get some post-it. I want you to take those post-its and I want you to have a pen and keep those post-its with you. Why? That sounds crazy, right? No. Post-its are going to be your little spots where every time you have a thought about this topic that you feel like you're overthinking about, you're going to write out a little bit about it. You're going to add to a post-it and you're going to do it on a separate post-it every time. And so let's say you've gone throughout the days and you've thought about this thing that you're overthinking about. You've thought about it 4 times. Each one of those times when you thought about it, I want you to pull out the post-it, pull out a pen, write down that thought, and then move on. I want you to physically write it down as an act of getting it out of your mind. So you write that down. You write it down the first time. You write it down the second time. You write it down the third time. You write it down the fourth time. I want you to take all of those post-its, take them home, and put them on the wall. Put them on a blank wall that you can start tapping up those post-its. And I want you to do that every day for at least 3 days. And then after those first 3 days, I want you to take a step back and I want you to read all of those post-its. And here's the magic that starts to happen. Some of the dots that your brain and your intuition have been trying to connect with you inside of your mind, but it was too much to connect. You're going to start to see a theme of, hey, there's something happening here. This is what my brain is trying to tell me. My intuition is trying to tell me that this doesn't feel right or that this feels right, even though it doesn't make sense of why it feels right. But everything in me is seeing a pattern. And so as you start putting these post-its on the wall, patterns, themes, things that your intuition have been trying to tell you are going to show up a lot more clearly simply because you got them out of your mind. You stopped trying to process it all in your head. And it's allowed you to take a step back and really see how things can connect. So, what do you think? Have you ever tried to do this? I suggest this to all of my clients before we even get started because this is a huge part of how you start seeing a little bit deeper and reconnecting back to who you are rather than just doing things because you feel like you've seen other people do them or the world says, oh, conventional wisdom says this is the best way to handle it. And you actually start finding ways that more, that better align with who you are, your values, and where you want to take your life rather than just doing what you feel is the next best thing. So this gives you an intentional way to hear exactly what your body is trying to tell you, hear what your intuition is trying to tell you, so that you can connect all the dots and help you make a decision that feels aligned rather than feeling like you're in this cycle and this spiral of overthinking. So I think you already know that. But the hard part about overthinking is that most of us feel stuck. When we use the word overthinking, we feel stuck. We feel like we haven't been able to move forward. We feel like we don't know how to move forward. But this practice is going to help you actually move forward. And I love to think of it this way, this analogy. You cannot steer a parked car. And when you are in this place where you don't have any ways to start figuring out how to put one foot in front of the other, that's when you're a parked car. But taking these first steps to use the post-its and get the thoughts out of your mind and see the things and listening to your intuition, that allows you to steer a car. That actually allows you to move forward because you can steer a moved car. And so rather than, those two options at the beginning where you are a parked car that's not moving forward or you're moving way too fast that you crash, now you have a way that's going to help you take intentional steps to really listen to yourself and to your heart and find an aligned way to move forward. Again, this is how I feel like you can use overthinking to your benefit, how it can actually be a good. So if that makes sense to you, but you're having a hard time trying to figure out how do you do that? How do you actually see the themes once you've got them on the wall? Then I invite you to do an idea and consider me. We can get on a call. You can show me your wall. I can start asking you questions, and we can discuss how these things are trying to help you make a decision. How your intuition is speaking to you. How you can read that, connect back to who you are, because we all know the answers are inside of us. Sometimes we just don't know how to find them. And this session is going to help you do that. So we're like, okay, that sounds amazing. Well, who are you? Well, hey, I am Rashida, your dream strategist. And I help Black women redefine who we are beyond our job title and take action to become that woman, because we are so, so much more than our job title. We're so much more than the roles that we play and being the workhorse of America. Instead, I want to help us work less and live more. And so on this channel, I talk about prioritizing rest. I talk about how to heal our burnout, how to connect us back to our self worth, who we are beyond these things, so that we can really create and build a life that empowers us to be exactly who we were created to be. So, as your life coach and your business consultant, I am excited. I'm excited to come alongside you and help you quit being a strong Black woman so that you can build your self back. If that's exciting to you, then this channel is for you. So, again, if you are in this cycle of overthinking and you love this idea of being able to use post-its to help you see the thing to move out of it, go ahead and take a second to sign up for a 90-minute intensive with me. And then once you're done with that, share this video with another Black woman who might be in the same place. And for today, thank you so much for watching. Okay? Have a great day.